everyone, I'm going to show you some more tools that we are currently learning about of how you can edit your photographs or just your digital images in general, and how to make digital drawings as well. So a layer mask is similar to an adjustment layer in the sense that you can always go back and change it, and it's less invasive rather than if you edit a layer or erase something and then it's gone for good. This you can go back and add things, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So to add a layer mask, you want to go down to the bottom where you see these icons, and it's right next to the adjustment layers. It looks like a little camera almost. It's a rectangle with a circle in it. If you press that once, you will see that a little white rectangle and like a little chain link went up next to the image on layer one. So you can see that you can either select the actual image or select the layer mask. So the cool thing about the layer mask is you can use the brush tool to act as a eraser. So I'm going to go over here and select the brush tool. I'm just going to make the size a little larger to make it easier for you to see. And you want to make sure that your colors are set to black and white. Once you have the brush tool selected and you have the color set to black, you can go ahead and use the brush tool. I'm going to turn the layer off because you can't see it. You can see that it erased it. When the brush is set to black, it will remove any parts of that layer. And if I switch the color to white, that will add the color back, or anything that you erased on the image when the color was black. When you're working on a layer mask, black is subtractive. It removes anything on that layer. Then if you switch to white, it is additive and it will add it back. So like I was saying, how it's similar to an adjustment layer, you can always go back and edit the layer mask. Something you might want to use this for is if there's, I guess, kind of like this image, for example, the woman's hair, it gets very detailed at the end. So if you really wanted to remove all of the background here, you could zoom in a lot and make the brush really small and then go into all those fine details and erase any pink that you see from the background, for example. And if you maybe get some of her hair by accident, you can always add it back in. So it is very handy. I'm going to show the adjustment of shadows and highlights. Unfortunately, they don't have this option as an adjustment layer. You would think they might, but they don't. So this is a permanent edit that you will be doing to a layer. For the highlights and shadows image adjustment, you want to click Image, Adjustments, and then almost to the bottom it says Shadows/Highlights. And then you can see a property window pops up, and ultimately you'll have to play with it to get the effects that you want. You can play with all of the different settings here. I'm just moving the amount around because that's the overall thing. You can see if we turn the shadows up, it makes the woman's hair lighter. If you turn it down, it makes it darker. So it really just depends on what look you're going for or whatever you're trying to do in your specific image. But this is a filter that you can play around with and change the look, especially if the lighting maybe didn't come out how you'd want in a photo or something. And then whenever you are happy with the results, you just click OK, and that is a permanent edit to that layer. So for the pen tool, if you look over to the left where the capital T is, right under that, there is an icon of a fountain pen. There's a lot of different things that you can do with the pen tool, but we're just going to focus on the basics for right now. So I'm going to select the basic pen tool. Up at the top menu bar, you can decide if you want to just create a path or a shape. I'm going to do a shape for now. You can also have it filled with a color. I'm going to leave that blank, but I'm going to make the stroke black. That'll be, the stroke is an outline. And you can also adjust the size. Then I'm just going to click and it makes a little point. So essentially you are connecting all the dots and digitally drawing in that way. So once I connected my last dot, you see it made a shape here. Then if you grab the move tool, you can see I can move it around. Some other tools that you can use for drawing are, of course, the classic brush tool that I believe the very first tool that we learned how to use. So if you just select the brush tool, This is good for freehand drawing. Also, the paint bucket tool is very handy for digital drawing. Let's say that I wanted to fill in one of these kind of abstract circles that I made here with the brush tool. So the paint bucket tool is also under the gradient tool. So I'm gonna select it and just click paint bucket tool. And then if you click within a closed shape, it will fill that area with the color. The paint bucket tool does detect like a closed shape, so it will fill all of those pixels that are enclosed with that color. You can see it kind of still left a little outline, so you could simply take the brush tool and just go over that to smooth that out. But that's a really good, easy way to just fill in if you have a large section that just needs color. The paint bucket tool is good for that and also helps with digital drawing.